I'm Riley Callahan, 32, and this is the story of how one holiday text turned me from the family's steady backup into the woman who quietly pulled every rug they stood on. I grew up believing love was a silent subsidy. Pay the freight, stay in the shadows, keep the circle intact. My father Harlan kept the spotlight. My brother Wyatt got the praise. My sister Paige got the sympathy. I got the invoices, and the "you're so responsible" that really meant "we know you'll fix it." I never complained. I put myself through engineering school nights, patented a small renewable energy device, and built a quiet company that now supplies off-grid systems to remote communities. I paid for Wyatt's second DUI lawyer, Paige's endless wellness retreats, Mom and Dad's new HVAC when the old one died. I never asked for thanks. I just wanted to belong. Thanksgiving was always at their lakeside home, the one I'd helped them refinance after Dad's investment went south. I'd planned to drive up with homemade cornbread and the bourbon pecan pie Mom loved. Then came the text. I didn't reply. I changed my flight, packed one bag, and left. The Wyoming property was raw, 120 acres, log cabin, frozen creek, no neighbors for miles. But it was mine. Deed in my name alone. Trust structured by a lawyer friend. Any family pressure to transfer triggered reversion to a revocable, solely mine. I didn't tell them. The fallout started 4 days later. Wyatt called first, frantic. The kid's private school tuition bounced. What happened? Paige next. Mom says the lake house is off limits for summer. Riley, fix this. Mom left a voicemail swinging from hurt to furious. We're your blood. You can't punish us for needing space. I invited them to the cabin to talk. They arrived in 2 trucks, looking shell-shocked. Mom carried her famous cornbread like a truce. Dad clutched printouts of old agreements. Paige and Wyatt trailed, eyes red. I waited on the porch in boots and parka, coffee in hand, keys to the gate dangling. Inside, I laid the evidence across the pine table like cards. Transfers, mortgages, cabin deed now irrevocably mine, trust statements listing me as sole trustee. Mom went ash gray. Dad whispered, "You paid for all this?" Paige gasped. Wyatt swore under his breath. I let the silence work. "You uninvited me from Thanksgiving," I said quietly. "So, I stopped inviting you to my life. The cabin is mine. The trusts are mine. The lake house loan releases next week, meaning the bank will demand full payment in 45 days unless you refinance a loan." Paige tried tears. "This is cruel." "No," I answered. "It's consequences. You wanted space. Congratulations." Mom reached for my hand, voice breaking. "We didn't realize." "You did," I said, gentle but absolute. "You just assumed I'd never stop." Dad's voice cracked. "What do we do now?" I looked at the people who'd spent my life making me feel like the spare part in their perfect picture. "You figured out," I said. "The way I always have." I handed Mom her empty cornbread plate and walked them to their trucks. No one hugged goodbye. 7 months later, the lakeside home sold at a loss. They downsized to a condo. Paige took a corporate job she used to call soul-crushing. Wyatt started weekend construction gigs. Mom joined a seniors budget travel club. They send generic birthday texts now, no money, no guilt. I turned the cabin into an off-grid retreat for veterans transitioning to civilian life. Every weekend it's full of people finally allowed to rest. I still love them from a distance that finally lets me breathe. Some call me heartless. I call it healed. Because the day they told me I wasn't needed at their table, I finally built my own. And the sound of the creek these days? Worth every seat I stopped saving for them.